What's going on, guys? Yes, I put Joel on because I know if you guys just see my face, you'll probably go running. But Joel is here. Don't have no fear. Spencer is taking it out. And I mean, we got to give the guy a break. He was on for like 4 hours
Oh yeah.
earlier today. So, I mean, we'll let Spencer have the weekend, and Joel and I will kick it with you guys. I'm super excited to talk about the market. Even though it was a tough red day, there is some pockets out there. We'll talk about them. And welcome to At the Close.
All right, it is time for pre-market prep at the close.
Three consecutive highs opened, matched yesterday's low, and then once it took out there, that's all the breakout momentum traders needed. Mitchy
Joel,
Mitch.
I got to do the dentist dance.
That's only when Tim Quast. Spencer did work over 4 days in a row.
Yeah,
I
that's a
mean
little much.
that's very exhausting for him. So he couldn't make it all the way through the week. So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
won't give him too hard of a time, but he was fired up this morning. And let's go to the big board, folks. And things aren't looking good. The first thing I just want to discuss real quickly was when we were talking this morning at 8 o'clock. And the initial indication came out of extremely large buy balances, right? Remember talking about that?
Mm-hmm.
And we got the rally. And one thing that we talked about, Dennis in particular, was how these imbalances, especially like on a quad witch, can be offset and even flip to sell imbalances, right? There's
Yeah.
some big institution out there that has 200K to sell as something, and someone's going for one block to buy 200K. Bam. Then more sellers come in. So that's what you had. You had this little false rally here. And then when the balances flipped, you saw what happened. And it's continued. We are on just off the lows of the session. We took out the low from last week. It'd be important for the bulls for us to close above 25 and a quarter, but we just knocked on this area just too many times and it finally gave way. So let's just quick technical talk on the S&Ps here heading into the weekend. Looking a little bit better on my all time, or not a new all time high before the end of the year with Spencer, but we could talk about that next week. Crude giving a little bit back. Ran into problems at 73. Now we're under 72 here. Down 73 cents on the session, but still a really good day or good week for crude. Gold unable to recover from that walloping yesterday, down 440 at 752.30. Silver down 38 cents at 22.41. Wow, quiet day in Bitcoin, down 215 at 47.280. And Ethereum having a worst day on a percentage basis, down $162 at 34.10. That's a rundown of the futures and commodities, at least the ones we like to follow.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I was definitely watching the market today, and I had a feeling. I said 445. If we can't hold on to that, watch out, watch out. And boy, when we broke that on the SPY, it just started coming on down. The big thing, I know a lot of people are watching this today. I know we don't talk too much about moving averages, but on the SPY, it's been talked about how if the 50 is going to hold, right? We knocked below it now. The question is, can we get back above it on Monday? That's what I would like to see us get back, just quickly back above that. I think somewhere around 440, we might start finding some support. But this is actually a good thing because we were just pounding on the top side of that range for such a long time. I mean, it's bound to happen, right? When we get these pullbacks. Let's take a look at some of. Did you see the cues though? I would have to point that out. Let's take a look at that too.
One thing I noticed this morning, and when we were now the Qs is still hanging in the range here. One thing I noticed is that these tech stocks were weak, and even
Mm-hmm.
though the rally was going on, the big boys really weren't. With the few moments when the index went green, never happened during the regular session. It just the stocks weren't rallying, and so I think it was just a lot of anticipation of big buying balances that didn't turn out. Wow, Q's. What do you got? Well, you had three highs in the same area. Today's high a little bit lower. Same thing. I mean, that's almost the spruce chart per se. Looks like you're breaking down through the bottom of this 4 or 5 day trading range,
Mm-hmm.
but in this market, we're going to have 2 down weeks in a row for the third time this year, Mitch. Third time this year. The index has been in the red. Now, we closed last week kind of weak at 49. So we're only, shedding at this point, roughly 20 handles. So it's not a real butt kicking. But the fact of the matter is you made that high on Monday. It was protected all week. And also quad witches, turning points in the market, right, on a lot of occasions. And I'll feel a little bit better with my end of the year wager with Spencer. The fact that this expiration is turning out to be one to the sell side.
Yeah, that is true. I remember that bet. I'm going to be interested who wins that one. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at least some stocks that did go
Sure.
up today. We did have a stock with earnings today. Can you believe it? TMO. Let's take a quick look at this because, I mean, pretty good move for an expensive stock in a down day.
These are tough. These are tough. Really couldn't give you anything on this. Took out the pre-market high, but it gave you, it went down first. Where are we settling according to the range here? We got a few minutes left. You couldn't get to the top of yesterday's range. Well, you're $20 off the low and $10 off the high, $12 off the high. So good day, big volume. When I look at these kind of candles, I just say, okay, come and get me. The stop, perhaps below 576. Maybe a couple inside days, and then maybe determine if this is a true breakout. A little quiet ahead of the report. Thermo Fisher Scientific, not a huge fan of $600 stocks.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they're very hard to trade. I mean, let's just say it's not an easy one there. And definitely, I mean, it didn't even trade in a pattern. So, I
No.
mean, yeah, you just shot. I mean, not going to get it that many times. Let's go ahead and I want to give a quick shout out to people in the chat because, I mean, that's what we're all about at the end of the day. People like James, Easy, how we doing out there? Happy in the chat. I know. Where's Big Bill? I know you're out there. Don't be hiding. Zippy, I love you guys out there. We appreciate it. I know that you guys stay with us on every day. So let's keep going. But, hey, just wanted to give you guys a shout out. I know you guys don't get enough love. Let's go ahead. Let's get into another area that's interesting. Joel, did you see by any chance some used car sales stocks? That's what I'm going to call them here. Let's go to AN. AutoNation. Look at that move today.
Knocking on the door of an all-time high. A 1 day move, 2 day move, 3 day, 4 day move. Now, not sure if we saw any news on that. One level only. 125.21. That was your all-time high made on August 2nd. Today, you got close to that area, 124.34, but you had some sellers coming in. Once again, you're 4 points off the high, 3 points off the low. I don't know. I guess to looking at this, if you think this, is getting ready to blow the lid off this all-time high, there's not a gap, at least from today, really to be concerned about. Look at that. The top of yesterday's range, 1781. The low today, 1756. This move is taking on very good volume. I can see it's the largest trading day, volume day I've seen in quite some time. So, I don't know. Are we going to get a new all-time closing high? Let's see. 120.23. Let's see here. Nope. We got a 122.43 all-time closing high, June 16th. So that's my level along with the all-time high.
Yeah, it was just an interesting. It was a move that is one of those moves that makes a pretty big move that you just don't I didn't even hear about that this week about AN. I mean, I just want to point out some other ones in that area that I did see also moving, because you know how I like to look at my baskets, Joel. I'm just going to point
Yep.
them out. SAH, which is Sonic Automotive. And then you also got GPI.
Okay.
And then you also got that one's Group 1 Automotive. And then you got PAG, which is Penske Automotive. And you can look at
Oh
all those
yeah.
dailies. There's something there, right? That's why I like to
Oh
look at the
man,
industries.
correlations.
Yep,
Wow.
correlations. That's what I look for, Joel, a lot of the times, because a lot of times what you can do is you can find one moving first and then find the other one start following the move. And even though I don't know too much about these other names, I would definitely take a look at them, because I mean, you got a leader like AN pushing the group.
And okay, so let's go one step further here, Mitch. And
Yeah.
so if people are buying and driving used cars more, what are
Mm-hmm.
they going to need for those cars?
Auto parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see. Let's take a look. AAP, how's that doing today? Oh, so much for that theory. That's down $2.
Well, I mean, there's some other ones that were up in that one. There was one that was ripping. It's a cheaper one, Work Sport today, but I think that was more of a gap
Uh,
fill. Uh,
O'Reilly. Yep. Okay. Do we have any news on like halted productions? I mean, I know it's hard to get new cars, but was there anything this week about, cutting back on the supply or?
it's still the chip shortage thing, and one of the things is that I'm
Mm,
noticing is you're also seeing what the cargoes, right, off LA. The cargo ships are being pretty much stuck. There's about 70, I think, off of LA. There's about 90 in New Jersey, and they're just sitting in the sea, Joel. The shipping costs are just going through the roofs, and a lot of these are just sitting out there. So I don't see the supply issues going away anytime soon.
yeah,
So
I mean, I've seen more signs. This is just the eyeball test. At, different places, a few different restaurants are like, "Hey, our supply chain's disrupted." We not, a couple restaurants that I saw. We're not going to have certain items on the menu. I don't know. I mean, we're kind of, we got through the summer with this, kind of overlooking. I think it takes time to work those things through. But man, if demand is high and supply is low due to the shipping costs,
this is a good one. I got to point out when our chat knows something. I talked about this one on Monday, and I should have called it out, but easy calling GT, Goodyear tire. The
look at
tires, the tires. Our chat's coming up with a smart play there, and I like this chart. I actually called it out earlier in the week when it got that nice bullish engulfing candle on the daily chart. Now I'm looking at this; it looks interesting to me going into the next week.
couple interesting things here for Goodyear Tire. Shout out to my buddy Ross, who just retired from there. Worked there in a long time. Two things to keep an eye on. You got a good area of support to keep an eye on. Yesterday's low 1666. Today's low 1665. So on a swing trade, you got a double bottom to lean on. You are pretty close to that at 1695, but it is an area of support. What the Goodyear Tire Bulls want to see is you want to see us clear this area right here. And the week high, we'll just call it this weekly high, is what, 1724. Match that. Oh, 1734.
Mm-hmm.
Match that on, hit that on Tuesday. Match that on Wednesday. So today you didn't quite get there. Day's not over. 17 is the high. You're going to post, 1718 has been the high close for the move. So maybe you have a day or two where you make some lows, 1685, 1690, 1695, and then you get a little running start to that area. But here's where the weekly high is coming into play. And also, if you want to get bullish Goodyear Tire, then you look at your monthlies. And so this has been a level over, boom, it really goes up to 1750. But there he is. There's your resistance in Goodyear Tire.
All right, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be looking at this one. Who knows? Maybe I grab it a little bit into the after hours. I'll let you guys know if I take a swing on this one. Like the chart, and thank you, Easy, for mentioning it. Let's go into another area that I wanted to talk about: Lucid Motors, LCID. Just because, I mean, we all know how the following is in Lucid Motors. It's definitely at a high, let's say that. And what happened here was, okay, so if we're going to kind of go through the period, right? So
Mm-hmm.
on Monday is that pop up on the green, and that's that 13th that you see there. What happened there was an analyst comes out and says $10 rating. Then the very next day, it actually gaps down, comes down towards that red candle, goes to a low of 1870, then brings it back up the following day because what happens? Someone comes out and gives it I think like a $28 rating. It was, I think, of Bank of America stepping in there. And then so it's like an analyst battle there. Of course, a lot of people are watching this. And then yesterday, we finally get the news that I think a lot of people were at least looking for a good catalyst to come out, right? I mean, a lot of times you need something to give it some shake, especially after the stock has been pretty much sideways for a couple months now. So yesterday they finally released news about their battery testing. And so what happened there, they got an official EPA rating of
Oh,
520 miles for the range of the vehicle. This, of course, coming from the Lucid Air Dream Edition, their top car here, but that's competition with Tesla and the miles of range there, and that's what's really giving it that lift now. And I think, with this catalyst, the real question is what's going to happen here as it's starting to hit a trend line. And last time it failed up there towards 30. But what are you thinking, Joel?
a long ways away. Three big up days in a row. Gap and go on two of those days. You would have had to been quick on this one because at the end of last week, you had a pair of highs at 2060 area. It failed on Monday, came back down, and then it gapped up through that area. So it made it a little bit tougher to trade. Small gap in there between 2036 and 2016. Big 3 days for it. After it had this big 3 days, which was probably a little bit more on a percentage basis, you had a couple days of pause. So maybe that's what we'll see here in Lucid. Still pressing up towards the high of the day, 2351. I don't see much. I'll go a little bit short term. I don't see much until you get closer to 24. But I think what you need a little reset. 24 and a quarter is your next daily high. What you need is just to digest a little bit and maybe hold 22 for a couple days, 22 and a half, form, a few days of consolidation and then making a run. But big 3 day move here in Lucid, and the people are running with that story on the battery.
All right, we can also take a look here at some space stocks. I just wanted to point them out. I'm not sure this is going to be a continued play, but they all did get a little bit of a lift here. ASTS, and it was really led more by SPIR. This is a relatively newer one, and these are space imaging stocks. There's a couple of them that have been going well. Looks like we're getting a little bit of breaking news here. Let me just make sure I give this headline. It looks like it's going to be for Pfizer. Let's take a look at Pfizer. Let's see the 1 minute. How is it reacting there? Some breaking news here while I'm getting it literally
Okay.
as it happens. So what I'm getting right here is FDA advisors voting against the Pfizer COVID-19 booster dosage. So let's see how that's reacting. How is Pfizer doing right now?
I mean, aren't they already giving the booster doses?
They were set to vote on the vaccine booster dose. It looks like the vote was against the company, so voting not to pretty much give that vaccine booster right now. At least the advise.
How
So
come?
let's take a look here. Well, Fauci says he's not surprised by the FDA's advisory panel's decision. trying to get some more. It's just
Okay.
coming in literally as it happens. Hot
Uh,
market.
well, Pfizer has not been having a good week, a good last couple of weeks. It's pulled off hard off that all-time high. It was a very unusual move for it that it did to go to 40 to 52 like that, and made an undercut, made a new low of the move today. So that is not good. This news on top of it's not good news. Did we just go down to the now we're off the lows for the session? So don't know whether or not this has kind of been factored in by the street a little bit. Just the fact you've had a 9 point sell off. Uh, I mean, this thing will get if it's time if it's going to turn, it will give you 2, 3, 4 lows, 5 lows in the same area, and then turn up. Today, the only thing you're banking on is the undercut of the low and rally. If we could get back above the former low of the move, that was 44.03. No, doesn't look like it. 43.88. So not good
So
news. Continued pressure on Pfizer.
they're saying they need more data to make it really quick and sweet there. So
Okay.
that's what they're saying. At least for right now, for recommendation for the general public, they're saying they need more data before they go ahead and approve that.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens. I mean, of course, I think this is ongoing. It's an ongoing thing that we're going to continue to see. But this did just come in, so I know that a lot of people are probably reacting to it. And going into a weekend, I mean, I'm sure some people are going to react to it right now going into the close. We'll see what happens with Pfizer, Moderna. And I did see some put sweeps, but I don't really take that too much into
Yeah.
consideration there. I'm sure those are people just trying to jump off the news. But as we saw, the stock wasn't reacting just straight down. So it wasn't something like just massively catastrophic, like right off the back. So we'll see how it closes in there. Definitely knocking me off there. I was talking some space stocks, but man,
What
that
was the
that
one you were
that
talking
came in.
about? AST.
SPIR was the one that made the biggest move, but there's
Okay.
a couple other space stocks also that have been making recent moves. So ASTS, which is Space Mobile, that's kind of a 5G space play. You also had ASTR move up today, so we'll see what happens with that. Oh, looks
Okay.
like it just got hit. I got to see what happened here.
That
Something
was a
happened
30
here
cent.
now.
Yeah, that was a 15. Yeah, I mean it looks like a big candle on the chart, right? The 15-minute chart.
Yeah,
This has
something happened.
yeah, this has mounds of resistance here. Just under $10, 989, 978, hit 979 today. So you don't like seeing it peel off that area, but on the positive side, man, you got multiple lows here at 911, the 918 area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lows in the area. So if you're looking to lean on something for a low, hanging out near the low of the move, the buyer started stepping up around at 9. So yeah, a little sell off here to end the day, but to me, the chart's still looking like it's trying to turn up.
All right, I'll take a look at SPCE as the last one there because we did go up 7%. Just wanted to call out some of the smaller ones first that most people didn't really know, but look at that move up 7%. Starting to push above, and we'll see if it's holding.
Yeah, new high, for the week on a Friday, so that bodes well. Short term, I mean, if you get up maybe 26.83 today, that is you're close. Well, where you're at, you're only at you're 26.27. So next daily resistance level is your September 10th high of 26.83.
Someone in the chat wants to talk about Airbnb. I do not think I see news, but I don't want to talk about it because I did lose on this one this week.
You got
But
Goldman Sachs on that
oh,
one.
you know it, man. You know it, Joel. And it just goes to show. I mean, I'm not going to be mad at myself because I stuck to my rules, and that's always, done me well, especially this year on being consistent. But hey, that's how it goes sometimes. I don't see any news, just to comment there. I don't see anything exactly that's good and out there, but it did do a little bit of a dip there, about a 5 point dip there on the 1 minute. We'll see if it holds.
Yeah. Wow. Maybe, just one big seller coming in. It took out that high from yesterday by decent margin. 169.45 was your high on Thursday. You got 170 today, and people are probably leaning a little bit long to the breakout. It didn't happen, so a little bit thinner stock had some selling. What is the exact 50 on this one? What was the high? 219.94. That's pretty close to that. I got 219, and then what was the low on the downside? 121. Is this 121.50? I'm a little bit low on the low. So just figure it. I bet you that that 170, 171 area is the exact 50% retracement of this move. So hey, I mean, it hit it today and backed off. Does that mean the move to the upside is done? No. What you just want to hope for, you get a little period of consolidation, then maybe catch that bid, hold 170 and work its way up. But from a technical standpoint, if you were buying it off the bottom, looking for a 50% retracement, you got it. You got it today. And just backing off a little bit. Yeah. Goldman hit that thing on Monday.
I
And
tell
they
you,
just,
man.
yeah, that
At,
was the
at
street
least I
faith.
hope the guy buys himself some dog food from my shares. At least get his dog food get his dog some dog food, because I know it wasn't much for him. But hey, they got me, Joel. They got me.
Yeah, one thing on that, and why it might, you might have looked at that and said, "Hey, this thing could rally." Is they did pound it to 154.79, but look how it closed that day. It closed almost $5 off that, over $5 off that, and then the next
Uh,
day it took out. So just a good quick lessons there. Analyst ratings, take them with a grain of salt. They don't always turn out to be, the greatest, both long and short term.
That's true. All right, so now I want to take you to a look that I've been talking about this, and I would rather you kind of give your perspective and look.
Sure.
So I'll show you. This is kind of an index that I used for solar. This is what I've been watching. We've had I've been drawing out the peaks and the troughs. We've been going on up multiple times, fighting through. Now today we get this kind of turnaround right back up towards the trend. I'm going to look to see what happens in the next couple of weeks, but I've been looking for the seasonality to come into play. Today there were some good names. I mean, cheaper names like SOL, giving a good strong candle down here on the daily. I'm going to run through a couple of these really quickly so we
Sure.
can see some of them. I know someone in the chat mentioned like I run, but you can look at this iSun setting up. I like the setup also for SPWR. Multiple lows in that area. Nice strong candle today. I think it's starting up there. I'm actually, full disclosure, in run. I took a shot in this one. I'm in closer towards that 43.50 now that I added today. We'll look for this one to continue going back up towards the trend to 50. But there's a couple of other ones like ENPH that are really stronger stocks that you can take a look at. Nice reversal. The one that I'm trying to stay away, and maybe you can tell me to probably also, Joel, is JKS, because JKS we know has a lot of China exposure. And
Yeah.
to me, that's just a little scary to get into right now. So I'm trying to stay away from JKX. But look at this Max N and how it's just been stair stepping. I kind of like a stock that does that kind of move because you can clearly find where the bottoms are, and it's been a good trade. But I'll go back to kind of
What was the one that you that was around the one that I think you said you were in? It was
run.
around 20. Was it Run? Are you on?
20. There's
No.
SPWR, that chart.
Oh, that
Let's check
chart.
out that one.
Yeah, that one looks juicy to me.
That one
That
looks
one,
juicy.
yeah. Just because you got all these highs in the same area, 2254, 2252, 2244, 2252. Now it looks like you're closing in that upper quadrant here. So of all these charts for this one, I like this one, buying it on strength through that 2250 area. And looks like you're kind of doing that right now. Good volume today on a good up day. So that chart looks the best to me, breaking out here. Of course, with breakouts, you want to see it break out and continue. You don't want to see it boom, pop its head up to 22.65, and then you're back at 22.30. A wave of selling here into close. We got a little bit of a pop up to 42.28. Not enough. The sellers came in here on the close. It looks like we're going to close right around 44.20. So closing off the lows this session. That last
Ooh.
gasp rally didn't really turn into anything.
Yeah, I wonder if there was any imbalances there on the sell side, but
Yeah, sure
definitely,
looks like it. Yep.
yeah, there's
Yep.
6 million there that shows up at the last second there. We're definitely taking a little bit of a hit into after hours, but this goes to show you, and I think this is a great lesson in kind of also understanding market sentiment. Sometimes we have a really strong market where we're seeing dailies just continue green, 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 green. If you actually look at the daily charts the last couple of days, let's say on the SPY or the week, I mean, there's slight green candles, but they're not really even green, because if you look to the left and right and you see those strong red bodies, I mean, those give a sign. It doesn't mean like catastrophe, but it definitely means pullback time. And I think it's always important to know when the rotation is coming out of the market, so you don't, I say like flood the river to put size into trades right now, because I mean, especially on the upside, you're seeing the market pull back a little bit.
Yeah. Close it on the lows for the week. All right, Mitch. Thanks for stepping in for Spencer.
Always, like always, guys, and check out Joe on the weekdays, guys. He does go through tickers after 9 a.m. on PreMarket Prep Plus. Yes, I said it, PreMarket Prep Plus. If you don't know what that is, find out, because you're going to want to find out. I mean, you get to ask Joel some more questions, get a little bit more personal action with Joel. I know I enjoyed. I sneak in there a couple times, so we'll see you guys out there, and see you next time on
Okay.
At the Close.
Thanks, Mitch. Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend, guys.